Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Brianna Garcia. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, a look back at stories from the Sports Bureau, from the Arizona Cardinals taking the spotlight on reality TV to the science behind cornhole bags.
From training camp to just before the beginning of the season, the show Hard Knocks has given fans an inside look to their favorite NFL teams over the past 2 decades. Now it's the Cardinals' turn. Cronkite News reporter Brianna Garcia gives us a glimpse of what the reality series has in store.
Come August, Hard Knocks will give fans a behind-the-scenes look of the Cardinals' 2022 season. NFL Films has worked with Arizona before, 7 years ago on the show All or Nothing, and they expect even better storylines this time.
And we're really excited to work with Cliff Kingsbury, who, as you know, is a great young coach, has done really good things so far with the Cardinals, and certainly also has a lot to prove.
Head coach Cliff Kingsbury isn't the only appealing character to appear on the show. Players like Kyler Murray and J.J. Watt are sure to draw a lot of attention. But Kingsbury says the show will feature more than just the big names.
I think there's a lot of kind of really high character men that we get to work with, whether it's staff, coaches, players every day. So just to kind of tell some of their background stories and to get to know them on that level, I think it'll be great for our fans.
While Hard Knocks is sure to give the team some added publicity, not all players are excited about having cameras capture their every moment.
The locker room is a safe space. You know, that's an area, and our offensive line room for us is a place where we get to just kind of, you know, just be guys sometimes, you know, and, you know, to have to filter conversation, you know, in that respect, you know, it is what it is.
With Hard Knocks coming to Arizona, NFL Films hopes to produce a show that all football fans will watch.
It's a team that's really loaded and is you know, a team that we think is gonna be a great subject for football fans, not just Cardinal fans, but all NFL fans and fans of good TV. I think are gonna enjoy this series.
Even more enjoyable to watch will be if the Cardinals can make it to the playoffs, or better yet, the Super Bowl in their home stadium. In Phoenix, Brianna Garcia, Cronkite News.
HBO starts shooting the series at the beginning of the season, but the first episode won't air until November.
The much-anticipated Caesars Sportsbook at Chase Field is finally here. The grand opening took place this morning at the Diamondbacks' home. Cronkite News reporter Kyle Betts has more on what the stadium is doing to make the fan experience better.
Since the legalization of sports betting in Arizona last September, the gambling scene has grown and will now get even bigger, as Caesars Sportsbook at Chase Field was unveiled to the public today.
Caesars Sportsbook at Chase Field just became the largest sportsbook to partner with a stadium in the United States. The 22,000-foot, 2-story facility houses kiosks, booths, and of course, a lot of TVs to add to the fan experience. Representatives from Caesars and Diamondbacks president and CEO Derek Hall were even on hand to watch longtime Diamondback season ticket holders place the ceremonial first bets inside the facility. Caesars is now also the biggest freestanding sportsbook in the state of Arizona.
We've been excited about it in anticipation of what it could bring to not only our fans, but I think anybody that comes down here, right? It's going to attract people that are non-baseball fans, that are baseball fans. It just enhances the overall experience of any visit to downtown Phoenix.
Another part of the entertainment center was revealed just right upstairs, called Guy Fieri's Downtown Phoenix Kitchen and Bar at Caesars Sportsbook. The new restaurant has a full-service bar with indoor and outdoor seating right outside of the stadium.
It's pretty convenient. You know, you can throw a rock across the way here and you're at the game. Great food beforehand. No knock on the food in there. It's cool.
Caesars Sportsbook at Chase Field and Guy Fieri's Downtown Phoenix Kitchen and Bar now join the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Footprint Center as the only 2 locations in downtown Phoenix where you can place a sports bet and also grab a quick bite. In Phoenix, Kyle Betts, Cronkite News.
The Caesars Sportsbook at Chase Field is located outside the stadium, so you will not be able to enter and place bets from inside a Diamondbacks game.
50 years ago today, one law changed women's sports forever. It was a 37-word clause tucked away inside new education legislation. Here's Cronkite News reporter Ashley Stevens on the impact of Title IX.
Title IX was written to address gender equality in education, but 50 years later, it may be most known for its impact on women's sports. According to the Women's Sports Foundation, 1 in 27 girls participated in sports before the passage of Title IX in 1972. Now, that number is 2 in 5. Women's participation in college sports has risen 545% since 1972. At the high school level, only 1% of girls played a varsity sport in 1971, but by 1996, the number rose to 40%. The biggest stride for women came at the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio, where women dominated. U.S. women won 41 medals, 17 gold more than any other nation, but there's still a ways to go. Monetary gaps exist in women's professional basketball and soccer leagues and in the NCAA. And this year marked the first time the NCAA has ever allowed the women's basketball tournament to use the Final Four branding. In the studio, Ashley Stevens, Cronkite News.
This year, after a legal battle, the U.S. women's national soccer team and USA Soccer agreed to a landmark deal that equalizes World Cup prize money.
To many, cornhole is a backyard game. You grab some bags, a couple of friends, and have a fun way to pass some time. Cronkite News reporter Ethan Ryder explains why, to some, there's actually a science to this game.
For most recreational players, cornhole is simple. Pick up any bag and throw. But for competitive players like Nate Walsh and his father Ken, choosing the right bag can make all the difference.
Whenever I look for a bag, I try to look for a bag that can do as many different things as possible, so it's not limiting my strategy.
I throw real soft, so I need a fast bag and a floppy bag. So that's, some bags are really bunchy, called carpet bags. People that throw hard like to throw those because those stick. Whereas if I threw those, I would just barely hit the board and wouldn't go anywhere.
The art of cornhole is more like a science. Bag manufacturers have come up with a numbered speed scale. The higher the number, the faster the bag.
You gotta have something that fits your style. There's so many different manufacturers. I mean, you look at an open here, there's so many different manufacturers, but it all depends on how you throw.
You get an entry-level bag, it's only going to throw one way. Once you get one of these bags in your hand, you start seeing that you can cut, roll, flop. It just opens up a whole other set of the game that you see on TV rather than in your backyard barbecues.
Not only do players have to pay attention to the intricacies of bags, but the manufacturers have to stay alert to the most minuscule of details for a bag to be pro-certified and successful in the market. Each bag has typically gone through 6 to 8 months worth of testing.
From the resin that you use to the bag materials that you use, when we're dyeing or supplementing the bag, certain colors change the feel of the bag, which you have to kind of take into place because it can also change the speed of the bag. It can change how the bag breaks in.
Competitive cornhole bags are also dual-sided, with a fast and a slow side. Players choose what side to use depending on the board and weather conditions.
Out here it's humid right now with everyone here, so we'll get a faster bag or throw slick side versus sticky side. So there's nuances with the environment.
So while you need the right skills to be successful at cornhole, you also need the right bag. In Mesa, Ethan Ryder, Cronkite News.
The American Cornhole League is holding another regional event here in the Valley this Saturday in Chandler. Visit kbcornhole.com for more information.
Greyhawk Golf Club in Scottsdale had a busy 3 weeks playing host to the NCAA Golf Championships. Cronkite News reporter Connor Cox takes a look at how Greyhawk pulled off making NCAA history.
Getting a golf course to be in tournament shape is no easy feat. Greyhawk had to prep for 156 golfers 2 weeks in a row, while manipulating the course to be within NCAA guidelines for the women and men.
The course is amazing. Ernie Pock and the whole team at Greyhawk has got it just in perfect shape. So I think it's a little bit, the rough seems a little bit thicker this year. There's a little more Bermuda in the greens. I know they'll have them firm and fast for when they need to be.
The women play the rough at 2 inches and have a wetter green. But only 1 week later, the men need a 3-inch rough and a faster and firmer green. Greyhawk Director of Agronomy Ernie Pock explained the science behind the course conditions.
2 weeks prior to the event, I started increasing the wetting agents. I apply 2 types of wetting agents on the golf course. One that we call a driver or a mover that actually moves water deeper into the soil, and then one we call an actual holder. Molecularly, it holds water differently within the soil. So I got one that can move water deeper and one that holds and keeps the water in the soil.
The initial 60 days starts with seeding the course with excess winter grass to hold on until the tournament ends. Then, Golf Channel builds their camera towers, and cables weave their way around the 18 holes. In the final week of prep, you get all your flags and box advertising finished up.
I kind of use the analogy of like dancing on the dance floor. Everybody's got their own spot, and we just try not to step on each other around the dance floor. My team's got their responsibilities. Golf Channel, of course, has got their responsibilities for setting up the towers. ASU's got their responsibilities for setting up all the other stuff, the food and beverage and stuff.
The feat of hosting a national championship is daunting, but for Greyhawk Golf Club, it's getting easier. For the first time in history, the national championship will be played at the same course 3 years in a row. In Scottsdale, Connor Cox, Cronkite News.
Both ASU golf teams will have one more shot at trying to win a national championship in their backyard before the tournament moves to Carlsbad, California.
Stephen Curry just won his 4th NBA title, but he has bigger accomplishments coming on the golf course. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Green was at his junior golf tournament to show why it's so important.
Stephen Curry's second tour stop for his underrated golf tour teed off last week in Wickenburg Ranch. Curry created this all-expense-paid tour to provide a platform and feeder system for minority junior golfers to succeed and be recognized regardless of their race, gender, or class. The tournament consists of 30 boys and girls aging from 12 to 18 years old. Parents of these golfers are seeing the dream come to life from where Curry started.
He sees the opportunity as is underrated. I think that's so eloquent. It's really a testament to these kids who are often underrepresented.
Stephen Outlaw, the director of golf at Wickenburg Ranch and one of the spokespeople on the underrated tour panel at this tournament, is no stranger to the lack of inclusivity in golf. Outlaw and his former Georgetown College teammate were the first black men to play golf in the Mid-South Conference in the NAIA in 2003. For Outlaw, Curry's tournament hits close to home.
It kind of brings things full circle. I wasn't used to, in my early days, playing golf, seeing a person of color, right, in my position. It's great to be in this position to host this event, show the young men and women what's possible, and then to see what's possible.
These kids get to showcase their skills on a national stage and get recognition from anywhere. But most importantly, they get to play with kids who look just like them and build relationships that'll last a lifetime.
You don't usually see a lot of people that look like us playing this game, and to see that there are others here that are good and we know what we're doing, it's encouraging and inspiring to keep going.
While these kids are having fun competing and chasing the Curry Cup, awarded to the top golfer at the end of the tournament, they're also on the forefront of change in this new age of golf. From Wickenburg, Lauren Green, Cronkite News.
The next stop on the tour is Houston on July 17th, followed by Tampa. Then they finish up the tournament right in Curry's backyard in San Francisco in August. For most NBA prospects, their dream starts in high school, where players like the Williams brothers try to impress the college scouts. Cronkite reporter Ethan Ryder has more on the competitive college recruiting process.
The Section 7 tournament in Arizona is one of the top events in the country. From a scouting perspective, it's a chance to see players in a different environment.
Kids sometimes look different with their high school team than they do with their club team. So it's great to see them in both settings.
Chandler High School coach Jonathan Rother also coaches a club team. He says club games can feel like pickup games, which differs from high school.
College coaches and college programs get to see kids play under a certain level of structure that they have in their programs that I think sometimes gets lost in club.
Five-star Duke commit Jared McCain realizes a tournament like this allows players to show they can execute in different roles.
If you play your role the perfect way, then people are going to see it, and they're going to notice that, oh, he's doing little things, he's playing defense really well, he's rebounding.
When Corona Centennial guard forward Eric Freeney was given his first college offers at the Section 7 event, the coaches who recruited him told him the simple fundamentals he showed in his high school role was why they made him an offer.
Coaches, they don't really care about scoring like that. They care about defense and just all the little things like making the right pass, defensive rotations, and getting rebounds and boxing out fundamentals.
While club ball showcases raw talent, playing in a more structured high school setting is key for recruiting, and bringing coaches together at Section 7 makes the process easier. In Glendale, Ethan Ryder, Cronkite News.
A casual sports fan knows Football Club Barcelona is one of Europe's premier soccer teams. What they might not know is that club has a residency academy here in Arizona. And as Kyle Betts tells us, it produces some of the best young talent in the country.
Luca Sowinski is an 18-year-old California native committed to the University of Denver to play soccer this fall. Despite being a high school senior, he already lives hundreds of miles away from home. He ended up at Grand Sports World, more specifically, the FC Barcelona Residency Academy. The academy, which is originally known as La Masia in Barcelona, Spain, has a second location here, where players like Sowinski can receive a high school education at the ASU Prep Academy before lacing their boots.
The professional facilities, everything. I knew I wanted to be here. It was really something special. It's a dream for a youth soccer player, really.
Youth players come to Casa Grande knowing the program, which was founded in 2017, will prepare them for the next level.
For players like Luca Sowinski, their days are filled with practices, but they need all the pitch time they can get, as all Barca Residency Academy graduates either go on to play collegiately or professionally.
Sowinski is treating this opportunity as a sort of mini college experience before he goes on to play in the NCAA.
It's certainly a challenge, but, all of us, it takes someone, pretty special to want to come out here, kind of an isolated area in Arizona. And, I think that's what makes this place so great, because everyone here, has the same goal.
Jed Quinn, who is one of 135 staff members on the property, has been a part of the program for 5 years. He's been able to see player development firsthand, as some join the residency in their early teens to learn Barcelona methodology and style of play.
If we can have those guys progress through together, what we've seen in the last few years is that by the time they get to U19, it's clicking, and we really then start to see the style come through.
Living in a rural area away from friends and family might be difficult, especially for a youth soccer player. But the Barca Residency Academy has created new opportunities and relationships.
There's kids from everywhere in the country, even outside the country. I think my favorite part has just been meeting them, getting to know them, learning everything about them, and I've been able to make friends, and I'll be friends with them for the rest of my life, hopefully.
In Casa Grande, Kyle Betts, Cronkite News.
Julian Araujo, Matthew Hoppy, and Caden Clark are just a few of many current professionals that have graduated from the academy.
More than just a partnership on the sideline, the Scottsdale women's basketball coaches are married. Tasha Washington and Joe Bonham spent their first season leading the Artichoke program this past year. Cronkite News reporter Ian Sachs describes how they are balancing their strong relationship on and off the court.
Tasha Washington is getting set for her second season leading the Scottsdale Community College women's basketball team, whom she played for 2 decades ago. And by her side is her husband, Joe Bonham.
Sitting in this chair, I feel a lot more comfortable that it's my husband. He's going to have my back more than anybody.
Washington and Bonham met in 2014 while they were both assistant coaches at the Division I level. After getting married, the two took a couple of months off from the game before joining forces to lead an AAU team in Tennessee.
It wasn't 10 years ago that it was so unnatural to have a husband and a wife on a bench together. And just sort of seeing that become mainstream, and I wouldn't work for anybody else, right, in the game of basketball.
You look across the country and there's so many coaches that coach with their spouses. It's not like frowned upon, I think, how it used to be.
The duo complement each other well, as she is more defensive minded and he is more geared toward the offense.
It's awesome just to see them connect on the court, off the court, and then it brings us together as well, because that connection's so well with them two that it makes the connection with us so much better.
Bonham knows his role is simple: to provide ideas to Washington.
Sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, why don't we try this? And if we don't, it's okay, right? It doesn't mean I'm not going to come up with another idea. It just means that one wasn't it.
For this coaching couple, it's their strong bond that has enhanced their ability to combat challenges both on and off the court.
Those hurdles of helping others and pouring your heart and soul into others, and doing it together, the hurdles you hit, it makes your own hurdles not feel as big, right? And certainly the big ones, it's easier to overcome because you've done it with your spouse.
In Washington's first season leading the program, the Artichokes worked through COVID issues and were forced to play 12 games in a 3-week span. In Scottsdale, Ian Sachs, Cronkite News.
Scottsdale finished third in the conference last season after losing to Pima Community College in the semifinals. Washington begins her second season at the helm of the program this fall.
The Arizona men's basketball team made history last night with 3 players selected in the first 33 overall picks in the NBA draft, a first in program history. Dalen Terry was among one of those selected, and I was on hand for his big moment. The scene was set for the number 18th pick in the NBA draft, Dalen Terry, who gathered at Lolo's Chicken and Waffles ahead of his big night. The former Arizona basketball player's family, friends, and former coaches joined together for Terry's special occasion. And when Adam Silver said the magic words,
"The Chicago Bulls select Dalen,"
the support was at its fullest and spirits were high for the Phoenix native and newest addition to the Chicago Bulls.
Kid from Phoenix, Arizona ain't supposed to be here, and I'm just glad I beat the odds. You feel me? Like, shit's crazy. Like, I'm just blessed to be here. I thank God, thank everybody here.
With all who attended, now former coach Tommy Lloyd shared this moment at Terry's draft party, an event that's not new for the U of A coach.
I'm a coach, so my mind always goes to, what do we got to do next to do this again for other people, other players, and other families.
With the 18th pick in the draft, the Chicago Bulls, Dalen Terry's family is celebrating. And from what it sounds like, I don't think that celebration is going to stop anytime soon.
The way that I celebrated him last week and last month and last year, 3 years ago, we're going to continue to celebrate him because he deserves it.
Just a local kid from the Valley to a top 20 draft pick. This is a night he'll never forget. The other 2 Arizona products, Benedict Mothran, went 6 overall to the Pacers, and Christian Coloco went 33rd to the Raptors. Former Perry High School star Jalen Williams also went in the first round, picked 12th by the Thunder.
Summer sports camps are in full swing across the Valley. These camps can leave a kid with memories that can last a lifetime, especially if you can meet a professional athlete. Cronkite News reporter Connor Cox gets an inside look at one camp run by the Sun's Mikal Bridges.
Meeting a professional athlete as a kid can leave a lasting mark on that young soul forever. Smiles, advice, and basketball were just a glimmer of what was happening inside the walls of the facility in Phoenix. NBA defensive star Mikal Bridges held his first youth camp here the past few days and has been making his own positive impact on the community. It's also been a rewarding experience for the Suns forward.
Just to see the kids happy. I think that's the biggest thing, just them having fun, competing, but the whole thing just making new friends and having fun.
What makes a good camp is a solid staff. Former and current players coming in and volunteering to give these kids a camp like they had growing up.
It's always a good opportunity to give back because I know I went to camps like these too and I learned a lot from it. And I know I got a lot of memories from it too, so it's great to give back. It's a great feeling too.
The kids are not only learning from great coaches, they're getting access to amenities they might not have otherwise.
They're able to have the opportunity to be able to come into the gym and play basketball whenever they want. They have a place to come and eat and just hang out, make friends, just be around the culture that we kind of bring up and grow here. It's great. I couldn't ask for a better spot to be.
Players are getting better. The kids are getting better. Pass me the ball, bud. I want to see if I can catch it. And I'm getting better, too.
But no one is catching up to Bridges.
Yeah, hey, man, they talk a lot of smack out here sometimes, so I got to show them up.
In Phoenix, Connor Cox, Cronkite News.
5-2 loss to Texas in their third game of the Women's College World Series. First-year head coach Caitlin Lowe earned her first win in the series against Oregon State, and Cronkite News reporter Ashley Stevens tells us about the important mentor watching her every step.
The Women's College World Series drew a record 12,533 fans watching softball players from all over the country compete to win a national championship. Mike Condrea, the winningest coach in NCAA history, made an appearance to watch his former team.
There's a personal interest in watching all of these teams compete, and I'm just really pleased that I was able to choose something that I love to do, and that was the bat and ball game, and never worked a day in my life. And I feel like right now I'm the luckiest man on the earth being able to watch this and share in Caitlin's journey now.
4 years spent under him as a starting outfielder, 9 years under his coaching staff. What Caitlin Lowe took from Coach Candrea happened to be off the field rather than on the field.
You know, Coach Candrea always talked about this being about people, and I think it's so important. The relationships are what matters, and the X's and O's are great, but like pouring into people, and I don't mean 18 people on the team. I mean support staff and everyone that goes into making this program tick. Those are the things that make it rewarding. It's not always just helping someone be better at the plate. It's about, you know, helping them be better people.
She checks every box. And so I was very, very happy that she got the opportunity to take over the program, and this program will get better and better and better with her. So now it's a matter of going out and recruiting the right kids and going back to work.
3 consecutive trips to the Women's College World Series, and the University of Arizona is looking to make it a 4th. In Oklahoma City, Ashley Stevens, Cronkite News.
Arizona State and the University of Arizona will have to wait until next season for a shot at the national championship title.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.